this computer. So here is the first screen, and when you just open R, and this is my console in here, and we all know that R is really powerful statistical tool in here for programming and also for graphical and programming tool. And generally is a statistical tool that we are using R. As we all know that it is free, open source, and growing every day. Okay, and so after you have all your R on your computer, we can just go to File and open a new R script. Maybe you remember that we have an R console in here, and it is ready for you to work on there. It's like a greater sign. You see that you have a greater sign in here, and it is just waiting for you to type something in here, and then R is going to prompt your typing. And let's see, I'm just writing 1 + 1. This is the basic comment. And when I write and enter something in here, R is giving me the result, okay? And and also, if you are using that script in here, and let's just first add some comments. And here is, we are adding a hash sign. This is a hash sign in here. We can just say STAT291, and this is Lecture2. And the second thing you will do is that just control save your script in somewhere by just saying Control S, or File, Save as in here, okay? And you will see that after that one, the name of my script is going to change, the name I already gave, and .r, okay? And here is the hash sign. I can just write some comments in R. And after that, if I'm writing something in my scripts, R is just sending that scripts by using Control R, let's say 1 + 1. You can just use Control R or Command Return if you are using Mac. Then when you just do Control R or Command Return on your keyboard, then the R sends your lines to the console. You see that this guy is going to the console after you return that part. And you can see both of your comments and also your results in here. And if you want to see where you are working on your R, you can just use get working directory. When I type one or more letters in R, it just popping and the whole sentence or just the options you have. And I'm just seeing where I am right now. For example, in my computer, please use get working directory and see where you are, guys. And you will see that I'm in users and Fulia. And maybe check out for yourself and see which directory are you working for. And if you want to change your working directory, you can just use set working directory in here and just add the name of your folder you want to work on. Let's say I want to work in folder 1, folder 2 inside for the folder 1, okay? Or you can just go to File, and I'm in the session and set working directory, and you can just choose your directory from here. But if I were you, I will definitely use set working directory, which is the one that you can use later on when you reopen your R in here. And when you type something, you will see your number of the line. For example, I'm on the 10th line right now, and you see this is red right now. That means I wrote something and I didn't save, and just use Control S and save what you have done so far. And we will just do basic operations right now. Here is my basic operations in R. And so When you enter an expression into the R console, and when you press just the enter key, your operation will be evaluated and you will see the result in here. Let's say I'm just writing pi. Do you know what is pi, guys?
Yes, hocam.
3.14.
Sorry?
3.14.
Yes, this is pi, and I already know what is pi in here. And just saying pi is similar to say print pi in R. Okay, it's very similar to printing pi. Please watch out, guys. When I write something in my script, I just do Command Enter or Control R. Then I'm able to see my results in here with the comment. Okay, so this is where I'm writing my comment. This is where I see my results. Let me just okay. Let me just go back to here. And so print can print only one object at a time. Please keep in mind that part. For example, if I say print and pi, let's say equals, and also 3.14, and just run this part, you will see that you are having an error in here, and that means R is not able to print that part. Okay, so if you want to print these guys all together, you can just write print pi and use semicolon in here and print equals, and again one more semicolon, and say print 3.14. And when you just run this part, you will see that all your outputs are going to be here in your console. Okay, so you can easily use that part. And print is really similar to use cat function. This is my cat function. I can use cat to combine all these outputs in and print, and then see the multiple items at once. Let's say I just write pi and one more. So I just have pi and I say equals and 3.14. Okay. And let's say I want to add a line after that. So when you just write cat, this is kind of an easier to write something on your screen. Cat puts a space between each item by default. You see you have one space between each items by default in here. And you have a new, this guy, you have a new line character, and this is a one backslash, and you have n, and this is the this must be provided to terminate the line in here. Okay, this is just terminating your line. And so cat is like comment cannot print compound data structures like matrix. So we haven't seen matrix yet, but let's see if we can do some exercise with cat with matrix in here. I have my matrix. Let's say this is going from 1 to 9. We will see all of them. What is matrix and what is 1 to 9 doing? And you have your matrix in here. So if you use cat with this matrix, let's say I want to write my matrix from 1 to 9. And you see that cat is not able to write your matrix as it is, okay? So if you want to write this matrix onto your screen, you can just say it's your matrix in here as we have done so far, or you can just use print your matrix from 1 to 9, 3. And now you are able to write your matrix on the screen. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Hocam, I have a question.
Sure.
Actually, it is not about the matrix part, but like now when you're writing something here and you run it, you can see it in the below screen, right?
When I write something in here, I'm able to see the
Yeah.
output on console.
Yeah, but when I'm doing that, I can't see anything. It just gives me like white space. It doesn't give me anything. I
Let
don't
me
know.
let me check your screen first.
Problem.
So let's do some more examples. We can have just 1 plus, sorry guys, 1 plus 2 plus 3 and just enter that part, or we can have 1 plus 2 times 3. You see that one, and also for R you should use the mathematical expressions. For example, if you want to first sum this part, what we were doing in math. So I want to first sum this part, then get that part. And for this one, please remember we were using parentheses in here. 1 plus 2 times 3. And right now the result is different, okay? You can also construct some longer vectors in R by using combine. This is my combine, C and J in Turkish. We can just use C to combine and do longer vectors in here. Let's try to generate the Fibonacci series in here. I have my Fibonacci from 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. Who knows the last unit in here? Who wants to say the last unit? This is a Fibonacci series. Then what is next after 55?
89.
89. Thank you. So this is my Fibonacci, and I can just combine the numbers in here by use C in here, and we can just give it a name. Let's say Fib, and this guy in here helping you to give, for example, this part, assigning this part to an object. For example, I want to assign this vector to object named Fib. This is up to you guys. You can give any name instead Fib. In my case, I said Fib, or you can just say pizza, okay? And your pizza can be the same vector. Here is pizza. When you just write pizza, you will see 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, blah, 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 okay? Or when you say Fib, you can also see the same vector in here. So I want to write this vector by using cat with an explanation in here. Let's use cat, and let's say my name is Fib as in, and just add your vector and add some blah in here, \n. So right now you are able to write some explanation. My name is Fib as in Fibonacci. This part is up to you guys. You can write whatever you want in here, and you are just adding your vector after that, okay? So there are also some easiest way to write some more numbers at the same time on your console in here. For example, if you want to produce some vector between 1 and 100, and if you want to add every integer between these two numbers in here, you can just say 1 to 100. And right now, when you just run that part, or you can just say 1 to 1 million. You see, I'm able to write 1 million numbers at a time. Okay. Do you have any questions so far, guys? Okie dokie. I think before moving to the vectors, we are good with this part. Yep. So we are moving to vectors in R right now. Let's say, let me put this guy in here. And we are just seeing some vectors, sorry, in R. So it's also another easy to follow rules in R we have. So we can just write a vector in R and it contains numbers, strings, or logical values, but not a mixture of them, okay? One vector can only contain one class. Let's see. I want to write some vector, the starting of Fibonacci again, 5, let's stop somewhere, 13 and 8, 13 and 21. You can just write vector as it is, or you can just combine some, let's say 1 times pi and 10 times pi, okay? And dersteyim. Wait a minute, guys. So we can do some math inside your vector. Let's say I have 1 times pi and 10 times pi, okay? And also you can just add some strings. For example, I love this course already. Huh? So you are able to write the strings in here. And also you can just add some logical expression. Let's say true, false, false, and true. You see? Now I have also some logical values, and we can also combine some vectors in here. For example, I have my A vector, which is the combined from 1 to 3. And also I have my B vector. And also I just combine from 1 to 6. Maybe you just recognize something in here. When you just obtain some numbers in here, and when you put that numbers into an object that you already named, you can see these values in your global environment. For example, this is nowhere. This is just a vector you haven't saved anywhere. You see, when you just run this guy, it is not from anything. But if you just give it a name, let's say my back, and if you just put this guy into my vec in here, and you see that you saved your vector in your global environments. And anywhere in your R coding, you can call that vector later on. And when you just call that my vector, R will know that this is the combination of Fibonacci series of 2, 4, 6, and 8 numbers. Okay? So we were trying to combine our 2 vectors, which are A and B, and just write A, B, and now you are able to combine your A and B in here. Okay? So if you try to combine some mixing type, let's say I have my A and also I have B, and let's write O, D, T, Q. Your B is now is the strings by the values O, D, T, and U. And if you try to combine, please remember A is just a numeric vector. And if you try to combine this guy into a new vector in here, sorry guys, and you just try to combine them by using C, A, B, just write D, you will see them. Now R is converting all the numbers to strings before creating the vector, okay? In here, when you just check out for D, you remember that your A was a numeric vector, and by right now, since you combine them, R just converted all of them to a string. This is not a numeric vector anymore. So if you don't believe me, just write mod and D. You will see that this is a character vector right now. And if you want to see the mod of, for example, pi, just write pi, and you will see it's a numeric. And if you say mod A, this is the vector you already created by with numbers in here. And when you just say mod A, and you see that this is a numeric too. And also we had mod, what else? So this is also numeric. We had fib in here, but if you say mod, and if you write the name of your fib vector in this way, and this is just a character, it's nothing for R, okay? Do you have any questions so far, guys? Just save our file. Do you have any questions so far? Are we good? So it looks like we are on the same page right now. And also we want to see some basic operations in vectors right now, okay? I want to see, when I want to see some basic operations, and if you want to perform there in R, let's say if you want to do some operations on two vectors, R will match the elements of these two vectors pairwise and return a vector, okay? So what I am meaning is that, let's say I just combine some numbers, 1, 0, 1, 2, and also just write plus and combine them 0, 1, 2, and 3, you will see that it's just summing these two guys by elements. The first one with the first one. For example, 1 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 2, and 2 plus 3. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes.
So what if you don't have this one? What if I have 4 for the first one and 3 for the second one? What happens then?
Gives an error.
Only the first three numbers are added. Maybe.
Not.
Warning message.
Hocam soldakinin birincisi yani ikisinde birincileri tekrar toplanır. Mesela dördüncüye sıra geldiğinde diğerinin de birincisi.
Yep, that's right. She means that R is recycling the shorter one, okay? This is the shorter one. R is recycling and just write 0, 1, 2, and then 0. Let's say. You see? Okay, it's giving you a warning message, but it's already the sum with this guy and the 3, 1 with the second 3, 1 and 2 plus 0 again. Okay, we will see more details about this part. So also you can do the same one. Let's say I have my vector 1, 0, 1, 2, the same vector, times 0, 1, 2, and 3. And again, R is doing these operations by matching the elements of these two vectors pairwise and returning a new vector. And you can just save this vector in somewhere. And of course, you have all the mathematical expressions or operations in here. You can try, let's say, I have another vector, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my vector, and I want to add 1 to each element, okay? And when I write this part, you see that R will recycle the smaller sequence multiple times. This is my smaller sequence, and R is just recycling, since I have 4 elements in the first vector, and now I is recycling this one 4 times and just doing this adding operation with these ones. So 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1. And if I just write, let's say I have the same vector, and if I just add another one with 1 and 2, and you will see that R is recycling this guy like 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? And just doing the summing operation again. And let's say, and here is giving the same result for me, guys. Okay, if you have repeated values in here, you can just write the first 2, and R is going to recycle the rest for you. Any questions so far?
Hocam, why it didn't do like the previous one, like which adding 0, 0 and then adding the 2 vectors?
So we are having a recycling in here, but I didn't get the question actually.
Yeah, I mean when we had 2 vectors, but they weren't in the same size. One with 4 and one with 3 elements. R automatically added added 0 for the one with 3 elements, and then it did the addition. But why here it repeated them? Why it didn't do like 0, 0? Why it wrote 1, 2?
No, it's just doing the same, guys, several times, not adding the first element for all of them. Recycling mean it's just starting from the first one, going through the second, 3, and 4. It is depending on the length of the vector, okay? For example, in here, it's again recycle it. For example, if you have 3, and then when you just do running in here, you see I recycled 1, 0, 2, and again, you have 2 more guys in here and added 2, 0, and 1 at the end. That
okay, I thought it just adding zeros. I didn't understood that. Okay.
No, it is the same as doing 0 and 1, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question. So let's do one more example. And 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you see the results of this one in here. And what else we can try? We can write 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 10 and 100. And right now, R is again recycling, and this is same as doing, this guy. Recycle 10 and 100, and R is giving this one. Okay. Let's say I have 5 elements. And now it's just giving you the result, but with a warning message, since, and the second one is, the length of the second one is a multiple of shorter object length in here, okay? Any questions so far? So we will continue with some more vector arithmetics in here. Let's say V1. Let me first open the screen. And here is my first vector, and I'm assigning a sequence from 1 to 5. And here is my second vector. And also I want to have some sequence from 10 to 15. And I can just add the first one to the second, okay? Just by using the name of them. And again, you see R is recycling the one which is the shortest, okay? Shorter one. And also we can just have V1 times V2. And you see that R is also recycling right now. And if you just subtract 2 from each element of the first vector, V1 minus 2, and you will see that R is doing this job element-wise in here. And also we can add some expressions in R. For example, we use I love this course before, and I can just write this guy in here. This is called a character vector in R, and we only have the length of 1, okay? And we can just generate some character vectors again by typing, for example, now you have first element and second element by using comma in here. And I love this course. And also you can say that R is a love at first sight, okay? And maybe you notice that now we have 2 elements and the length of this vector is 2. And also I want to remind you, you can add just some comments by using the sign of this guy, for example, comment in R, use sign, and write this part. You see that we don't have it, or we will see some details about the comments. And please make sure in R that your expressions are complete. For example, I want to get the maximum value of 3, 6, and 9. Here is 9. And if you write, let's say, 3, 6. And if your expression is not complete, you will see that you are having a plus sign on your console. And because your expression is not complete and you don't have any result and you still see your cursor in there. And also on your script line, you have this guy and it's just saying that you have an unexpected end of the document, which is unmatched opening bracket in here. So it's just giving you, it's just saying you please add 1 more bracket at the end of the line. Now you have a complete line. Since you couldn't finish this part, then just run 1 more time, okay? Do you have any questions, guys, so far? So if not, we are going to set list and delete some variables, okay? So if you are assigning a value to an object, let's say I have my A, this is the name of my variable. This is an assigning operator. You have smaller and also dash, okay? And here is your operator. I'm just using option dash as a shortcut, or if you don't know what is your shortcut in here, and you can see your shortcut helps, okay? And this can be your shortcut helps in here, or you can just check out the shortcuts for R and just Google for that, okay? And here is, I'm saying A is 7. And when you just write A, you see A is 7. And also in your global environment, you are able to see your A listed in here, okay? Also, you can assign another value to a variable in here. B is your second variable, let's say, and you have your B, and which is 3. And after that, for R, B is 3 for all your comments for this session until you close that part, okay? And you can just assign another value to C. Generally, we are not using C because you also use C to combine your values, and then just change the name to D, for example. You want to get the square root of your A to A times A to 2 plus B to 2, okay? Now R know what is A and what is B, and just getting the square of them. And after this multiplication, after this summing operation, R is going to take the square root of this guy, okay? And here is what D. I think this should be clear for you guys, isn't it? Or if you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask me on time, okay? So we have another ways to assign some values in here. You can also say 8 is A, but this is not that common in R, okay? We are not using that much, but still R is able to assign that one. Or you can just use equal sign to assign the values to your variable. But it is again not that common because this equal sign assignment, that guy, if you use that guy in your comments in here, it can easily be confused with the test for equality, and the right word assignment is just too unconventional, and it is becoming extremely difficult to read when the expression is long, okay? When the expression is long, this guy is not that helpful. And you will see that we are going to use this equal sign to test for equality. So you don't want to use that one. And this is the best way, but of course it's up to you guys. This is the best way to assign some values in here. So we have another function in R, which is ls. And if you want to see all the variables you define in your workspace so far, you can just use ls. And you will see we assigned A, B, D, FIP, MyBag, Pizza, V1, and V2. Okay. And also, if you use structure, that means ls.str, if you are using the structure, you're able to see some more details, which is very, very useful for you guys. You will see that A is numeric, B and D also are numerics in here with just one value. And you have some sequences for your FIP, MyBag, and Pizza, and your V1 and V2 are integer in here. And you are able to see all of them by using ls.str. Another useful functions for us to see some details about our variables in R is ls.str. And at the end, if you want to remove some values in here, you can just use remove function. For example, if I say remove, please watch out this part. You can see your variables in your global environments. If you just use remove A, it is not there anymore. But please be careful. There is no undo for remove, okay? You cannot take it back. And if you just remove something, it is gone. It is gone forever. And also, if you want to remove everything in your environments in here, let's say you can just do remove, and all your variables are in ls. And now I have nothing in my environment. When you just say ls, that means list everything in my workspace. You see that you have character 0. You have nothing in here. We removed everything.
Hocam bir şey sorabilir miyim?
Sure. Let me
o-
first.
LS tam olarak ne oluyor hocam? Kaçırdım da ben.
Okay, I will show. Let me first share again. ls is just giving all your variables or your objects into your environments in here. This is a function that is used to know what variables are defined in your environment. For example, I have my A, I have my B and D, and when I just say ls, you see that I have these values in here in my workspace. And now when I just do ls in here, I'm able to see all of them. Okay. And also I can see some details about them. And if I remove A, and if I ls again, I'm not able to see anymore. And if I remove B, and I don't have B anymore, or I can remove all of them. Let's run them one more time. You will see I have them again. And if I remove them by using this command, it's going to remove everything in list. That means in ls. You see I have nothing right now. You can just use this guy to remove everything in your environment or in your workspace in here. Okay? Did you get the idea what's happening in ls?
Evet hocam, teşekkür ederim.
You're welcome. So after removing our variables in here, we can just see how we can get help in R. For example, you may have help.start, and you will see R has 6 different manuals, and you can see some introduction to R and see some writing R extensions and data importing and exporting. And there's another manuals about R language definition and R installation and administration. And also you have R internals in here. And also you have some references about packages, search engine and keywords in here. And also you have some more details in help start, okay? And if you want to get any help about any documentation or any function in here, you can just say help, the function name. Okay, so we don't have any function as a function name. Let's say you want to know about ls. And when you just say ls, it's just giving you some more explanation about your function. For example, it is in the base package, so you don't have to install any packages to use ls. It's embedded in your R, and you have some description, usage, arguments, details, and references. And generally, the examples are really useful in that help function. And instead of help, you can just use question mark. And again, you get the same result. Okay. Also, you can get the arguments in your function if you just use arguments. For example, for ls, you are able to see how this guy is working. Some details. And if you just want to see the example, for example, example in ls, and it's just giving you the examples defined in ls function. Okay, so far so good.